This is the view from our trailer park, which is really nice. We had a little dusting of snow last night, but it melted off by 10 a.m. So we decided to take off and head north to go to a park called the Rocks State Park. Um, in the meantime, it was about 20 minutes north of where we're from, like the campground, and that's the park there. It was very nice. Had some beautiful scenery along the way, of course. So we had to stop and pay $5 to get into the park, and it's all on the honor system basically. You put your sticker in the windshield. They do patrol the park though, so I imagine they would notice if you didn't follow the rules, but you know us, we're square, so we did. So anyway, that's somebody giving Sandy the finger there. And here we are in the rocks, and you'll see when we look up ahead here that there are people that camp in and around the rocks. They have different campgrounds set up within the rocks. So you can see on the right there that there's a trailer, a white trailer, that is basically taking one of the campsites. And it was really interesting to see the different types of campsites they had. Now, this is all considered what they call primitive parking. So we don't have any hookups. There's, basically you'd be boondocking if you came out here. Sandy and I did not take the trailer up, so we did not stay at the park this time, but I'm thinking maybe next year we will, or maybe in January or February. We'll see what happens, but I think it'd be interesting to camp in around the rocks here. That's a yucca plant there. I wasn't sure what it was, and Sandy told me what it was. So, yeah, so these are the rocks here. We went all through the park, and we had a great time. It didn't take long, maybe 20 minutes or so to go through the park, so it wasn't too bad that way. But it was interesting to see, like I say, the different campgrounds, and the park itself was quite interesting. So, yeah, so far so good for that. Then when we were done, we actually went up to this, up the hill, and there was an overlook where you could see. So as we're coming out of the park here, you'll see on the left there was like campsites. Those campsites off to the left. To the right is the gazebo, and to the left was campsites that had hookups. This up here is the off look that you go up the side thing and you can do an overlook to see it all. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, it was a beautiful view from up there. So if it wasn't so windy, we would have walked some of the trails, but it was too bloody windy. There's also a bike trail that goes along starting at this point, and I'm hoping that if it gets warmer in January that I might be able to bring the bike down here and do that trail and see where it goes. Yeah, the only downside to that is that Sandy doesn't have a bike, and I might have to force him to get one, so we'll see. Then we continued to head north. We decided we were going to go up to this little ghost town that the lady at the park talked about. As we were coming into Silver City, of course, it started to snow, and the ghost town is about 5 miles north of Silver City. So we were like, okay, bad enough. But then we get to the actual place. Pinos Altos is the name of the park, or the ghost town. And you'll see like there's a lot of snow hitting. And when we were driving around, it just started snowing heavier and heavier. So we were like, we just drove through, and then basically, had a quick look at the town. There's a saloon. There's a gift shop off to the left. And it looked interesting, but like I say, we didn't want to stick around too long. So basically, we just went down the road here, and then we ended up turning around, which, of course, Sandy got stuck, which he tried to blame me for, but let's face it, we all know whose fault it was. So anyway, he finally put it in four-wheel drive and got us out of there. And then we basically just went back through the same town. It's just one street. There's not a whole lot of... I didn't see a whole lot of what I would call ghost town buildings. There was a few of the original buildings off in one of the fields there, which was interesting. But yeah, overall, it's just a little small town where they've tried to play up the whole ghost town thing. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not what I expected from a ghost town. So, what do you think about finding a place up here to camp for a while?
Oh, I'll get right on that. I'm going in the right direction.
South.
Down.
It's going south.
Yeah, and so we're leaving Silver City and heading home for the night.